Welcome to all. My name is Dr. K. Sujata, Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Government Degree College, Kukatpalli. Today I am going to discuss about linearly independence and linearly dependence. These are the subcontents we have. What is the definition of linearly independence and linearly dependence? Let S equal to V1, V2, so on, Vk, a set of vectors in a vector space V. For that, we have to write the linear combination taking the scalars C1, V1 plus C2, V2 plus so on, Ck, Vk is equal to 0. By using this set of vectors, we can write the linear combination C1, V1 plus C2, V2 plus so on, Ck, Vk is equal to 0. Therefore, if this equation having only the trivial solution, that means all constants will be 0. That is C1 equal to 0, C2 equal to 0, Ck equal to 0. Then the set S contains the vectors V1, V2, Vk is called linearly independent. The linear combination equation having only trivial solution, then the set is called as a linearly independent. In other way, we say that any subset of a vector space V is said to be linearly independent. The linear combination equation C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus Ck Vk equal to 0, then C1 equal to C2 equal to Ck is equal to 0. All the constants should be 0. Then we say that the set is called as a linearly independent set. This is simply denoted as L dot I, capital letters. That means linearly independent. For the second definition, we are going to second definition, that is linearly dependent. The same set having the linear combination C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on Ck Vk equal to 0. If this equation having a non-trivial solution, this equation having a non-trivial solution, then the set S is called as a linearly dependent. That means the constant C1, C2, Ck, at least one of the constant is non-zero, then we say that the set is said to be a linearly dependent. It is denoted as simply L dot D, capital letters. That means any subset S of a vectors in a vector space forms a linear combination C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on Ck Vk equal to 0. Then at least one scalar should be non-zero. Then we say that the set S is called as a linearly dependent. That means in other way we have to denote this one linearly dependent as there exists at least one vector Vi which can be represented as the linear combination of the other vectors exist in that same set. Therefore, in which the coefficients are all not zero. That's why this is called as a linearly dependent. The above equation has only trivial solution, then it is called as a linearly independent. If the equation having a non-trivial solution, that means at least one scalar should be non-zero, then we say that S is called as a linearly dependent. In other way, we have to define linearly dependent means any vector from S can be expressed as a linear combination of the other vectors of S, then it is called as a linearly dependent. Because of that Vi vector can be multiplied with 1, that's why 1 is not a 0, that's why it can be represented as a linearly dependent. Now we are going to discuss about the Examples: linearly dependence and linearly independence. Determine whether the following set of vectors in R cube are linearly independent or linearly dependent. S is equal to given V1, V2, V3. That vectors are denoted as first vector V1 is 1, 2, 3. Second vector V2 is 0, 1, 2. V3 is minus 2, 0, 1. First, we have to whether the following vectors are linearly independent or linearly dependent. First, write the linear combination of these vectors equal to 0. That means we have to here the three vectors are there, v1, v2, v3. Take the three scalars c1, c2, c3. Write the linear combination like this: c1, v1 plus c2, v2 plus c3, v3 equal to 0 bar. This is the linear combination equation. By adding this, write the form of 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2. Write in the form of matrix system of equations: C1 minus 2C3 equal to 0, 2C1 plus C2 equal to 0, 3C1 plus 2C2 plus C3 equal to 0. Write in the form of matrix form. Therefore, 1, 0 minus 2, because of C2 is not there, that's why that quotient will be taken as 0, 2, 1, 0, 3, 2, 1. By reducing it into echelon form. So by using the elementary row operations, so that means first consider first row first element, taking to reduce second row first element, third row first element as a 0. That's why taking the row operations R21 minus 2, R2 R3 1 minus 3, then it can be reduced to like this. Already you know that in the Gauss-Jordan method echelon form, we are using the row transformations, elementary transformations. We get 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Here write C1 equal to 0, C2 equal to 0, C3 equal to 0. This matrix can be written in the form of the system of equations. We can get C1 equal to 0, C2 equal to 0, C3 equal to 0. That means it has only trivial solution. Trivial solution means the values will be 0. C1, C2, C3 equal to 0, or otherwise we can say has that of this matrix is non-zero, then we say that the system has a trivial solution. Therefore, here by using the echelon form, this system of equations reduces to 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Therefore, it has only trivial solution. Already you know that the definition, all constants should be 0. Then we say that the system on the set of vectors forms a linearly independent set. Because of here C1, C2, C3 equal to 0, the system has only trivial solution. Then we say that the set of vectors S equal to V1, V2, V3 forms a linearly independent set. We'll take the another example. Determine which of the following set of vectors in P2 is linearly independent or linearly dependent. S equal to V1, V2, V3. The V1 vector can be in the form of polynomial 1 plus x minus 2x square, V2 2 plus 5x minus x square, V3 is x plus x square. The set of vectors can be taken as a polynomials because of the set is defined as in P2, that means up to the degree is 2, we have to take the polynomials. To determine the set of vectors forms a linearly independent or linearly dependent, first write the linear combination equation. Here three vectors are there. Take the three scalars C1, C2, C3. Write the linear combination equation. C1v1 plus C2v2 plus C3v3 equal to 0. C1 into, write the first polynomial vector 1 plus x minus 2x square plus C2 into 2 plus 5x minus x square plus C3 into x plus x square. Therefore, it can be written as equal to, the 0 vector can be also written in the form of polynomial 0 plus 0 into x plus 0 into x square. So, write in the form of the degree wise constant first and x term and x square terms, write in the form of comparing the both sides forms. Therefore, you can get these equations: C1 plus 2C2 equal to 0, C1 plus 5C2 plus C3 equal to 0, minus 2C1 minus C2 plus C3 equal to 0. This system of equations can be written in the form of matrix form. So write the quotients of C1, C2, C3. 1, 2, third C3 quotient is not there. That's why you have to put the 0. Next 1, 5, 1. Next minus 2, minus 1, 1. So write in the form of matrix form. Therefore, this 0 matrix is also right here 1, 0, 0, 0 in the form of column. By using the echelon form, that means Gauss-Jordan echelon form, using the elementary row operations, we can get, first always you have to remember first row first element should be 1. By using the first row second row first element and third row first element, that means 1 0 0 form we have to reduce in the echelon form. Like this we have to reduce using the row transformation. Therefore, we can get the reduced echelon form matrix is 1 2 0 0 1 1 by 3 0 0 0. Here the 0 column is same 0 0 0. Write in the form of C1 plus 2C2 equal to 0, C2 plus 1 by 3 into C3 equal to 0. See here in the last third row is all zeros. That means in the matrix properties, this system has infinitely many solutions. We take the C1, C3 is equal to T, C2 equal to get the sum value, and C1 equal to get the sum value. By taking the number of T values, then we get the number of constant values we get here. That's why this system has infinitely many solutions. That means the constants here, see, for the example, t equal to something you have to take and here get the 2 minus 1 minus 3. That means the system has infinitely many solutions. Therefore, constants, at least one constant is non-zero. Then we say that the set of vectors forms a linearly dependent set of vectors. Already in the definition, we already told that one. What is that linearly dependent set means? The system has a non-trivial solution, then the set of vectors forms a linearly dependent, or at least one constant is non-zero, then we say that the set of vectors forms a linearly dependent. Here get the C1, C2, C3 values. It is only at least one constant is, all three constants is non-zero. That's why this set of vectors of polynomials V1, V2, V3 forms a linearly dependent set. This is a very, very important example. So by using the echelon form, we have to reduce into echelon form, then write in the form of matrix equations, linear equations. Then we get the solutions of C1, C2, C3. Therefore, from that we say that all constants should be 0. Then with a set of vectors, we form a linearly independent. We get the values for the C1, C2, C3. That means at least one constant is non-zero. Then the set of vectors is a linearly dependent. One more example we have to discuss now. Determine whether the following set of vectors in the 2 by 2 matrix space is linearly independent or linearly dependent. In this, we have take the matrices of the vectors. In the previous example, we take the polynomials as a vectors, to polynomials of degree 2. Here we take the matrices. S equal to V1, V2, V3. So the matrix is taken as a 2, 1, 0, 1, 3, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 2, 0. So here, write in the form of to verify the set of vectors is linearly independent or linearly dependent. First, we have to write the linear combination of the equation of the vectors in the form of equation. C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus C3 V3 equal to 0. So always you have to write in the form of linear combination equation. Therefore, C1 into first vector 2, 1, 0, 1 plus C2 into 3, 0, 2, 1, C3 into 1, 0, 2, 0. But here in the linear combination V1, V2, V3 are the matrices. Therefore, the 0 vector is also taken in the form of matrix 0, 0, 0, 0. So here take the multiplication to C1, C1, C1 like this. We have to multiply with the constant these matrices and adding these three and compare to 0 matrix. Therefore, we can get the system of linear equations. 2C1 plus 3C2 plus C3 equal to 0. Second one is C1 equal to 0 plus 2C2 plus 2C3 equal to 0. C1 plus C2 equal to 0. They are right in the form of matrix form. 2, 3, 1. That is the first row. Second row only C1 is there. Other two constants will be taken as 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. So in here C1 is not there. That's why that quotient will be taken as a 0, 2, 2. Next in the fourth equation 1, 1. The C3 is not there. That's why we have to taken here 0. So write in the form of the 0 matrix is 0, 0, 0. So because of here, four values are there, 0, 0, 0, first row 2 elements and second row 2 elements. That's why we get the 4 equations right in the form of matrix form. Now reduced to echelon form by using the elementary row operations. By using the elementary row operation here to do it is too difficult. You can go through the elementary row operations. Already you know that. Therefore here 1 0 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 0 0. Therefore it is in the form of they will get. See here the system of equations C1 equal to 0, C2 equal to 0, C3 equal to 0. This system has only the trivial solution. That means all constants is 0. That system is as a trivial solution. Then we say that the set of vectors forms a linearly independent. So because of we have to do very important the echelon form reduced to elementary row operations. By using that one, we can get this one. So first we exchange the first row and second row. We can get here 1 by using the first row, first element. Therefore, other will be, by using the row transformations, we can get the zeros and reduce in this form. Then we get this last row reduced echelon form. Comparing the values, therefore, you can get 1 is into C1 equal to 0. Here the second element is C2 into 1, that is equal to 0. C3 into 1 equal to 0. That means this system has linearly independent because it has a trivial solution. Now going to the theorems. A property of linearly dependent sets. A set S is equal to V1, V2, so on, Vk, or k greater than or equal to 2 is linearly dependent. That means the set contains at least 2 vectors. For k greater than or equal to 2 means the set S contains at least 2 vectors. Is linearly dependent if and only if at least one of the vectors of Vi in S can be written as a linear combination of the other vectors in S. It is very important one. A set S is equal to contains some k vectors. for k greater than or equal to 2 is linearly dependent if and only if at least one of the vectors of Vi in S can be written as linear combination of the other vectors in S. How to prove this one? Now going to the proof. First write the linear combination of the given vectors. What are the vectors are given in the set? S, V1, V2, so on, Vk. Take the k scalars C1, C2, so on, Ck. The middle of the element can be taken as a any other one taken as a Ci, Vi. Therefore, general element can be taken as a Vi. General vector can be taken as Vi, and general scalar is also taken as a Ci. Write the linear combination of these vectors. C1 V1 plus C2 V2 plus so on Ci Vi plus so on Ck Vk equal to 0. S is linearly dependent. There exists a non-trivial solutions. That means one of the at least one scalar must be non-zero. Therefore, S is linearly dependent means there exists a non-trivial solutions. At least one vector is non-zero. That's why we have to take an Ci is not equal to 0 for some I. Now you can put the Ci Vi here and take all other elements to right side. Therefore, Ci Vi is equal to minus C1 V1 minus C2 V2 so on minus Ck Vk. Then before term, what is the before term of this one? Ci minus 1, Vi minus 1. What is the after term of this one? Ci plus 1, Vi plus 1. That also you have to mention here. Therefore, divide with the constant now. That is what is that constant Ci. Therefore, Vi is equal to minus C1 by Ci V1 plus so on minus Ci minus 1 by Ci Vi minus 1 plus minus Ci plus 1 by Ci into Vi plus 1 plus so on minus Ck by Ci into Vk. See here, any vector that means Vi can be written as a linear combination of other vectors. Other vectors means other than Vi. That is V1, so on, Vi minus 1, Vi plus 1 and so on Vk. So then it is called as a linear combination of the other vectors. Therefore, if any vector Vi in S can be written as linear combination of the other vectors in S. If and only then the set is said to be linearly dependent here. So it is one of the important theorem regarding to dependent sets, linearly dependent sets. Therefore, implies and implied. Here seeing S is linearly dependent. In the first part, we have to take an S is linearly dependent. Then we show that any one of the vector Vi in S can be written as a linear combination of other vectors. In the second part, if and only if means we have to take that one. So in other part, any vector Vi can be expressed as a linear combination of other vectors in S. Then we have to show that S is linearly dependent. First, to take the linear combination of a Vi vector can be written as a linear combination of other vectors. That means D1 V1 plus so on Di minus 1 Vi minus 1 plus Di plus 1 Vi plus 1 plus so on Dk Vk. Now, this vector taken right side, d1 v1 plus di minus 1 vi minus 1 minus 1 into vi. Because of here, what is the multiple of vi? That is 1. Taken right side, that will be converted into minus 1. Minus 1 into vi plus di plus 1, vi plus 1 plus so on dk vk equal to 0. See here, the vector taken to right side, it will be minus Vi. Minus Vi can be written as minus 1 into Vi. Therefore, see here, C1, first constant is D1. C2 is the D2. What is the Ci is? That means Ci minus 1 is Di minus 1. What is Ci here? Minus 1. Ck is Dk. There exists at least one non-zero constant. See here, these are all unknown scalars. D1, D2, Dk are all unknown scalars. We don't know. They are zeros or some values are there. But here, see here, Ci is minus 1. The quotient of Vi is minus 1. That means at least one scalar is non-zero, then we say that the set of vectors forms a linearly dependent. That means there exists at least non-trivial solution. There exists a non-trivial solution. That means at least one scalar should be non-zero. Then we say that S is a linearly dependent. This is the theorem, very important one. A set S equal to V1, V2, Vk for k greater than or equal to 0 is linearly dependent if and only if at least one of the vectors Vi in S can be expressed as a linear combination of the other vectors in S. This is the first part. This is the second part. Coming to the corollary of this theorem, two vectors u and v in a vector space V are linearly dependent. That means the vector space contains only two vectors u and v if and only if one is a scalar multiple of the other. So one vector can be taken as a scalar multiple of the other. How to write this one? So two vectors u and v in a vector space that are linearly dependent. Means in the above theorem we have to take the k is equal to 2 until only it having only two vectors. One is a scalar multiple of other. What we have to write it this one? C1 into u plus C2 into v equal to 0. So C1 into u is equal to minus C2 into v. Therefore, u is equal to minus C2 by C1 into V. Minus C2 by C1 is a scalar. Therefore, one vector can be expressed as a scalar multiple of the other vector. This is one more important corollary theorem by the consequent of the above theorem. Some more theorems in the linearly dependent and linearly independent set. Every superset of linearly dependent set of vectors is linearly dependent. Every superset of linearly dependent set of vectors is linearly dependent. That means take S is equal to alpha 1, alpha 2, so on, alpha n, or you take the u1, u2, so on, un. Therefore, what is the linear combination of that vectors? C1, u1 plus C2, u2 plus so on, Cn, un equal to 0. So we can add some more vectors for this. That is beta, that is v1, v2, so on, vm. Therefore, that can be write it in the form of linear combination means c1 u1 plus c2 u2 plus so on cn un. Therefore, plus 0 into v1 plus 0 into v2 so on 0 into v1 equal to 0. Already the set of vectors u1, u2, un are linearly dependent. We can add the some more vectors for that set. Therefore, write in the form of 0 into v1 plus 0 into, that means that set also forms a linearly dependent. That means every superset of linearly dependent set of vectors forms a linearly dependent. Coming to the next theorem, every non-empty subset of linearly independent set of vectors is linearly independent. So subset of a linearly independent set of vectors forms always linearly independent. We can easily prove this theorem by using the taking the vectors u1, u2, un equal to 0. Therefore, the set already, therefore, by taking the linear combination, what do you get? C1, V1, U1 plus C2, U2 plus so on, Cn, Un equal to 0. All constant, linearly independent means all constants should be 0. That is C1, C2, C3, so on, Cn equal to 0. Therefore, any subset, that means we can take up to K, U1, U2, Uk. Therefore, all that C1, C2, K, C2, so on, Ck are constants are also 0. That's why every non-empty subset of linearly independent set of vectors forms a linearly independent. A set of vectors which contains at least one zero vector is linearly dependent. It is very important one. A set of vectors which contains at least one zero vector is linearly dependent. Take the vectors u1, u2, so on, un. One zero vector, that means u1 will be considered as a zero vector. Write the linear combination. Write the linear combination means we have to write the linear combination is 0. That means some C1 into 0 plus C2 into U2 plus so on, C3 into U3 plus so on, Cn into Un equal to 0. So for that we have to take an as a at least one constant, that is C1 into 0 vector plus all other constants I will be considered as 0 scalars. Therefore, that means C1 into U1 as a 0 vector, that is C1 into 0 vector plus 0 into U2 plus so on 0 into U3, so on 0 into Un equal to 0. That means here is the zero vector multiple is scalar, that is a some constant, it is a non-zero. That's why at least one of the non-zero scalar should be exist in that set. Then we say that the set of vectors forms a linearly dependent set. Only single non-zero vectors forms always linearly independent set. Say take the zero vector. Zero vector can be expressed as a linear combination. What you have to write? U is a therefore U is a non-zero vector. How to write the linear combination? For C belongs to some field. Therefore, C into U is equal to 0. C into U is equal to 0. U is not equal to 0 means C must be 0. That means the scalar is 0. That's why a single non-zero vector forms a linearly independent set. These are the important four theorems about linearly independence and linearly dependence. First, this one is every superset of linearly dependent set of vectors forms a linearly dependent. Every non-empty subset of linearly independent set of vectors is linearly dependent. A set of vectors which contains at least one zero vector is linearly dependent. A single non-zero vector forms a linearly independent set. That will be concise. Pi is linearly independent set. Pi is a always forms a linearly independent set. If 0 belongs to S, that means at least one zero vector belongs to the set of vectors, then S forms a linearly dependent. If V not equal to 0, it implies V is a linearly independent. That means a single non-zero vector always forms a linearly independent. S1 is subset of or equal to S2. S1 is linearly dependent. The superset is also linearly dependent. S2 is linearly independent. The subset S1 is also linearly independent. The above theorems can be concisely, we have to write like this. Pi is always linearly independent set. Empty set is always a linearly independent set. A set of vectors contains the zero vector, then S is a linearly dependent. is single non-zero vector. V is a single non-zero vector, is always forms a linearly independent set. And S1 is subset of or equal to S2. Therefore, S1 is a subset of or equal to S2. Here is the S2 is the superset. S1 is the subset. That means we have to write it. S1 is linearly dependent. Therefore, the superset of S1 is S2 is linearly dependent. If S2 is linearly independent, then the subset of S2 is linearly independent. That means S2 is linearly independent. It implies S1 is a linearly independent. Some important sets we have to run. R is the set of all real numbers. R square is the set of all ordered pairs. R cube is the set of all ordered tuples. R power n is the set of all n tuples. Therefore, C, complex numbers with respect to infinity to infinity, the set of all continuous defined in the real number line. Therefore, set of all continuous functions defined on the closed interval a comma b. P is the set of all polynomials. Pn is the set of all polynomials of degree less than or equal to n. Mmn, that means set of m by n matrices. Mnn, that means set of n by n square matrices. These are the notations you have to remember.